The song is about you. You're so vain.
Whatever.
We are at the Edgecut Moor, or I guess it's called Danes Moor, by a bridge, which we actually have in the game. I think this is actually the bridge and the river we have in the game.
This is really out in the country, so we had to do kind of some Scooby-Doo mystery van traversing through, through the spooky countryside.
Our odyssey through England is coming to an end. While we have visited several historical places to help us get our game War of the Roses as accurate as possible, it's time for a real challenge. Jousting in full plate armor.
To start with, we're going to be looking down the line at our opponent, and when you're both ready, you're going to salute up in the air. So just go for the salute, back down again, and then you're going to set off into canter, going in a straight line. So you set off into canter, left hand down, holding the reins, couch under your arm, elbow tucked in, hand underneath, so you've got control of the lance.
Yeah, we're at Tournament Stud in Northamptonshire, and this is where a lot of our horses are trained, and we practice. We've got some cabbages for you to chop, and we've got what's called the tilt rail, which separated the two horses in the joust. And yes, you're on some of our good horses who are well trained for this, so you're in capable hands. Although horses, you know, things can go wrong, so you never know.
And off we go. Canter, 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 canter. First cabbage.
Tournament probably first started as just training for battle. And then obviously people thought, hey, this is quite good fun. We can turn this into a game, we can formalise it. And as it went through time, it became more and more formalised. And then you had the situation where tournaments were a little bit like having a kind of a party, in that you would invite your wealthy friends. You would show them how wealthy and influential you were by the number of people you invited, the kind of things you had on your horse, and the kind of host that you were. So it's a very social thing. It always remained training for battle. And in the War of the Roses, we've obviously got some people are doing tournaments in combat harness with a few modifications for the joust, but not much.
Follow the point of the sword, in.
But during the Wars of the Roses, wasn't that quite a brutal time period where there was a lot less chivalry and maybe even a lot less ransoming? And from what we've read, a lot of lords, you know, they lost their life. If they got captured, it was, this is the end of the road. We're putting your head on a spike.
Yeah, well, because it's a civil war,
yeah,
then kind of rules get changed. You know, the rules of chivalry are an ideal to aspire to, but I would imagine that when it comes down to it, they kind of get forgotten quite a lot of the time. And I imagine lots of letters were written and people were reminded of being chivalrous, but if somebody's dead, they're dead. But yes, you're right. I mean, Towton was just a massive massacre. If you run away, your army's done, because then it becomes thousands of individuals. If you stay cohesive, you've got a chance. But the stress of standing in a line, seeing all these well-trained, heavily armed, screaming, shouting people on big horses coming towards you, you have to be well-trained to stand that. You really do. So it must have been an awe-inspiring sight, absolutely awe-inspiring sight. Possibly the last one many people saw.
How do you react to this?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This is so awesome.
One of the cool things, we didn't even plan this. The War of the Roses,
yeah,
it's deep-rooted in the British and the English culture.
I hope you've enjoyed watching our trip to England as much as we did making it. We look forward to seeing you on the battlefields of War of the Roses coming October 2012.
That's one dead French fighting cabbage.